Hello, Golden State Warriors fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. The buzz started quietly, almost as if it was just another throwaway comment from a coach caught in the rhythm of preseason chatter. But when Steve Kerr dropped the line that has now gone viral, everything changed in Golden State. With a half smile, half frown, Kerr let it slip. That player will never wear a Warriors jersey again. And that player, to the shock of fans everywhere, is Jonathan Kuminga, the athletic Congolese forward once heralded as the future cornerstone of the franchise. Since entering the league through the unique pathway of the Ignite program in the G League, Kuminga was seen as one of the brightest young talents, raw yet filled with potential. His name carried excitement whenever he touched the floor. Fans loved his dunks, his bursts of energy, and the tantalizing possibility that he might develop into something special under the mentorship of the Warriors veterans. Now, with Kerr's words echoing through every podcast, every talk show, and every fan forum, the question is, what happened behind the scenes to turn promise into estrangement so quickly? Rumors swirl that it's about attitude, others whisper it's about chemistry, and still others point to locker room politics. Some insiders claim this has been brewing for months, a slow burn hidden beneath the Warriors' attempts to stay competitive while simultaneously nurturing the younger core. Kerr, known for balancing egos and blending personalities into a winning formula, rarely makes such definitive statements publicly. That makes his choice of words even more powerful, almost like a deliberate message meant not just for Kuminga, but for the entire organization. Was this a warning? Or was it a final declaration of a decision that had already been made in private long before? Those close to the team recall moments of tension during last season when Kuminga's playing time fluctuated dramatically. One night he would log 30 energetic minutes, and the next he would barely break 10, leaving him visibly frustrated. In a team culture built on patience and selflessness, that sort of visible discontent doesn't always sit well. Yet many argue that frustration is natural for a young player with dreams bigger than the role he's been given. Perhaps Kuminga's ambitions clashed with the Warriors' slower developmental timeline. Others argue that the situation has less to do with basketball and more to do with identity. The Warriors are still a dynasty clinging to its remaining years of relevance, with Stephen Curry as the face, Draymond Green as the heartbeat, and Klay Thompson as the soul. Integrating young, athletic players into such an established hierarchy has proven to be a difficult balancing act. James Wiseman, once considered a generational big man, already learned that lesson the hard way when he was moved on to another opportunity. Now, Kuminga may be facing a similar fate. The tension here is that Kerr's statement, whether intentional or not, effectively destroys any lingering sense of harmony. Fans and analysts alike know that once a coach admits publicly that a player won't wear the jersey again, it signals a breakup that is beyond repair. The front office will be forced to act, and the trade rumors are already swirling like a California wildfire. The question isn't if anymore, it's when and where. The potential suitors are already being whispered about in hushed tones across the league. Could Kuminga be headed to a rebuilding franchise desperate for athleticism and star power? Could a team like the Orlando Magic or the Oklahoma City Thunder roll the dice on his untapped potential? Or maybe a bigger, more dramatic move is in play, with Kuminga packaged alongside other assets to bring another star to Golden State's fading dynasty. Speculation runs rampant, but nothing has been confirmed. And while all this unfolds, Kuminga himself remains silent. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no cryptic posts that usually accompany these kinds of NBA dramas. The silence, in fact, speaks louder than words. It suggests he knows something we don't, perhaps that the situation is already resolved, and all that remains is paperwork. Kerr's words may have been the spark, but the fire has clearly been smoldering for quite some time. Fans are left to wonder if they've seen Kuminga in a Warriors jersey for the very last time. The irony in all this is that Kerr has always been praised for his ability to nurture young talent within the Warriors system. He is not known as a coach who burns bridges. In fact, Many credit him with extending the careers of Curry, Thompson, and Green by carefully managing their minutes while finding ways to maximize the bench. For him to reach a point where he publicly singles out a player as no longer part of the team's identity suggests a deeper rift. Maybe it's about trust on the defensive end, where the Warriors' system demands constant communication and near-perfect rotations. Maybe it's about effort in practice, a detail fans never see but coaches obsess over. Or maybe, just maybe, it's about personality clashes, something far harder to fix. Whatever the case, Kerr's statement wasn't just a headline. It was a rupture. It was the kind of moment that redefines a franchise's narrative in real time, leaving everyone to speculate about the fallout that is surely coming. Even among the fan base, reactions are split. Some supporters argue that Kerr's tough love is exactly what's needed to maintain order in a locker room that could easily fracture under the weight of egos, championships, and fading time. Others believe the organization is wasting one of its most athletic prospects, someone who might blossom elsewhere into the star they refuse to let him become. The comparisons to other former Warriors who thrived in new environments will undoubtedly fuel debates for years. And while the Warriors fight to remain relevant in the cutthroat Western Conference, the absence of Kuminga's explosive dunks and defensive versatility might be felt more deeply than Kerr is willing to admit. This isn't just a basketball decision. It's a cultural decision. It's about what kind of team the Warriors want to be in the final chapters of their dynasty and how much they're willing to risk in pursuit of one more title run. And with all that in mind, Kerr's words are more than shocking. They're seismic, sending tremors through the NBA world. Now the narrative has shifted beyond the Warriors' walls and become a league-wide fascination, as every franchise circles the situation like vultures waiting for their chance. General managers are quietly calling Golden State's front office, trying to gauge the price tag. They know that even in tension, talent remains talent, and Jonathan Kuminga still holds the kind of athletic ceiling that coaches and executives drool over. His combination of size, strength, and agility is rare in the NBA, and the fact that he's only scratching the surface makes him even more valuable. If Kerr's words are truly final, the Warriors may be forced into a difficult position where they sell low, unable to hide their internal fractures. Rival executives will exploit that leverage, attempting to pry Kuminga away for pennies on the dollar. That kind of scenario rarely ends well for the team on the losing side, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Golden State may feel that keeping him around after Kerr's statement is impossible, as the trust has been shattered. The whispers suggest a move is coming sooner rather than later, because letting this story linger would only magnify the distraction. The Warriors are no strangers to high-stakes decisions. From their bold pursuit of Kevin Durant in 2016 to their controversial trade of James Wiseman more recently, this is a franchise that has never been afraid to shake the foundation when it believes it's necessary. The question now is whether Kuminga's exit will be remembered as a mistake or as a necessary course correction. Kerr's statement doesn't give much room for reconciliation, but the NBA has seen stranger turnarounds before. Could this be one of those dramatic plot twists where a public rift somehow leads to renewed focus and growth? Or has the bridge already been burned to ashes? Fans replay the quote again and again, analyzing Kerr's tone, searching for sarcasm, irony, or even exaggeration. Yet the words are too sharp, too clear, too deliberate. It's difficult to walk back a line that definitive. And so the belief grows that this saga has entered its final act, with only the ending yet to be written. In a league built on drama, this could become the season's defining subplot. Some of the most intriguing whispers involve the idea of Kuminga being packaged into a blockbuster trade, the kind of move that shifts the balance of power across the league. Imagine, for instance, a scenario where the Warriors attempt to bring in a defensive anchor or another all-star caliber player, using Kuminga as the centerpiece of the deal. It would be risky, yes, but the Warriors have never shied away from risk. Every dynasty eventually faces the dilemma of choosing between the present and the future, and Golden State seems to have decided firmly on the present. With Curry still playing at a near MVP level, the pressure to capitalize is immense. Kuminga's potential is exciting, but potential doesn't guarantee championships. In contrast, flipping him for proven talent could give the Warriors the edge they need to survive another brutal Western Conference playoff race. Still, for every hypothetical trade scenario that emerges, there are fans who cringe at the thought of losing a young prospect just as he's about to bloom. Meanwhile, Kuminga's silence has become a story of its own. In an era when players often use social media as a weapon, firing off cryptic emojis or liking suspicious posts to stir the pot, his refusal to engage is unusual. It suggests discipline or perhaps disillusionment. Does he already know where his future lies? Has his agent advised him to stay quiet until the ink dries on a deal? Or is he simply choosing dignity over drama, a rarity in modern NBA storytelling? Whatever the reason, his lack of response only adds to the tension, leaving fans to fill the void with their own theories. Some interpret it as confidence, believing that Kuminga knows his value and doesn't need to defend himself. Others see it as resignation, a young player who feels betrayed by the very organization that was supposed to develop him. Either way, the silence amplifies the noise, making each new rumor feel even more electric. Every passing day without a statement is another spark for speculation. Behind the scenes, one must imagine the impact this has on the Warriors' locker room. Teammates are watching closely, particularly the veterans who have built the culture KERR often praises. How do Curry, Green, and Thompson view the situation? Do they believe Kuminga was given a fair shot, or do they side with KERR in valuing harmony over individual frustration? The dynamics are complex. On one hand, veterans usually prioritize winning and chemistry, even if it means sacrificing a young player's development. On the other, these same veterans once benefited from trust and patience during their early years. They know the value of belief. Whatever their stance, their opinions matter greatly, as KERR's leadership thrives on mutual respect. If even one of the core veterans disagrees, the fracture could spread wider than anticipated. In that sense, KERR's statement might have been directed not just at Kuminga, but also at the locker room itself, a reminder that no player, however talented, is above the team. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. As the days pass, the sense of inevitability grows. Jonathan Kuminga's days in a Golden State jersey appear numbered, with KERR's words acting as both a catalyst and a conclusion. The excitement surrounding his draft selection, the highlight dunks, the flashes of brilliance, all of it now feels like memories being packed into a box labeled "What Could Have Been." Warriors fans, so accustomed to celebrating triumph, now face the sobering reality that their team's future is uncertain and complicated. Losing a young star before he even fully develops is never easy, especially when the reasons are shrouded in mystery. But perhaps that's the nature of dynasties. The cost of chasing greatness often means sacrificing tomorrow for today. KERR's statement may go down as one of the boldest lines ever uttered by a coach, a line that reshaped not only a player's career, but also the direction of a franchise. The Warriors will continue forward because that's what dynasties do, but whether they'll regret closing the book on Kuminga is a question that only time can answer. The future now feels like an open-ended novel, one where Kuminga's next chapter could redefine the entire perception of his career. If he lands on a rebuilding team, the story could shift from frustration to redemption, where his minutes skyrocket, his confidence soars, and suddenly the same flashes that felt inconsistent in Golden State transform into nightly dominance. Imagine Kuminga with the freedom to run, attack, and make mistakes without being yanked to the bench. Fans outside of the Bay Area already dream about this scenario, picturing him as the centerpiece of a young, fast-paced roster. The irony is thick. Golden State, the team that once believed in development and innovation, may soon watch from afar as the talent they couldn't fully harness blooms into an all-star. That's the double-edged sword of moving on too soon. The haunting what-if lingers. For now, we're stuck in a suspenseful moment between revelation and resolution. KERR's quote sits heavy in the air, unresolved, with the league watching closely. What began as one line in a media scrum has spiraled into a full-blown saga. A saga where every detail, every rumor, and every silence is dissected until the truth finally emerges. Yet no matter where Kuminga ends up, his story will forever be intertwined with Golden State's dynasty and the words KERR chose to say. That's the thing about public declarations. They don't just live in the moment, they echo. Years from now, when fans recount the rise and fall of the Warriors era, this saga will be a footnote, maybe even a full chapter, depending on how things unfold. If Kuminga becomes a star elsewhere, KERR's quote will be revisited with a sting of regret. If he struggles, it will be remembered as prophetic, a sign that the coach truly knew what was best for his team. Either way, the decision will shape narratives beyond the box score. And in the NBA, narratives matter almost as much as wins and losses. They fuel headlines, they inspire debates, and they create legacies. For now, the legacy of this moment is uncertainty, the rare kind that grips fans, analysts, and players alike. Everyone is waiting, everyone is guessing, and everyone knows this isn't just about basketball. It's about identity, loyalty, and the fine line between patience and finality. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.